Did you discover one-size-fits-all change methods? Are you struggling with their strict phased, step-by-step change approach? Discover the Change Lemniscate model, a dynamic change framework with 25 components and 200 related videos. It offers insights, tools, and inspiration to master in a dynamic way every aspect of change management. Join me as we build this model together in less than 20 minutes. Pause or rewind when needed. Prefer a quicker overview? Use the chapters in the description or the link above to the short introduction. I raise 60 reflective questions. They are shared on this video page. Let's start the discovery. We begin with the two wings of the Lemniscate, the change perspectives. To achieve success in driving change, it's essential to shift and adapt these perspectives effectively. Change can be understood through two vital perspectives. First, the organizational perspective, which addresses the structural and strategic need for change, shaping the systems, processes, and goals. Second, the individual perspective, which explores how people within the organization experience and respond to change on a personal level. How well do these two perspectives align in your current change initiative? And how do you ensure that both the organization and its people are included and supported throughout the journey? Next, we move on to the two change mindsets, which define the attitudes needed to support the respective change perspectives. After all, shifting perspectives in change management requires a corresponding shift in attitude and viewpoints. Shifting to the direction change mindset requires looking beyond the surface to address the organizational need for change from a broader perspective. Begin with wondering, exploring not just what's happening on the surface, but also identifying the deeper, interconnected drivers of change. What are the underlying patterns or structural dynamics keeping issues in place? Are we tackling symptoms, or are we uncovering the root causes? Complex challenges often persist because they intertwine with culture, politics, and entrenched behaviors. This change mindset encourages you to pause and embrace the discomfort of not immediately knowing the answers. In the shaping mode, you begin crafting solutions that acknowledge this complexity, balancing urgency with thoughtful experimentation. Tough questions often emerge. Are we addressing the right problem? Are current power structures enabling or hindering progress? And most importantly, how do we involve the right people to co-create solutions that are feasible and sustainable? This directing change mindset requires navigating between action and reflection, adjusting your approach as you learn. Key question is, are we striving for lasting transformation or merely settling for short-term wins? And remember, even as you direct and shape, the journey doesn't stop there. For change to truly take hold, you must move to activating, working collaboratively to align individual motivations with organizational goals. Only by involving all stakeholders, addressing resistance empathetically, and fostering a sense of shared ownership can change evolve from fleeting efforts to sustainable impact. Now, let's explore the activating change mindset. While participation and collaboration are already vital in the directing change phase, the activating change mindset takes this further by focusing on individual engagement. It's about translating the broader direction into personal motivation and commitment. Once the change has been directed, it's time to activate the individuals involved, igniting their energy and aligning their efforts with the change goals. Building meaningful connections is key to creating buy-in, and through anchoring, the change becomes a lasting part of their new reality. But consider this. How do you ensure individuals feel genuinely supported throughout this journey? And how can you help them incorporate the change into their daily routines, ensuring it remains sustainable over time? Change management requires a continuous exchange between mindsets and perspectives, a dynamic interplay that ultimately shapes the success of any change process. To navigate this effectively, it's essential to approach shifts in perspective and mindset with both intention and genuine enthusiasm. When should the organization's needs take precedence over individual needs? And when is it crucial to prioritize the individual experience? Reflect on your past change initiatives. How often did you need to adjust focus between these two perspectives? And what was the outcome? Did those shifts create alignment? Or did they introduce new challenges? Understanding these nuances is key to mastering the art of balancing organizational goals with the human side of change. At the center of the Lemniscate, we see the leading change wheel. Let's discover it. As a change leader, your role extends beyond managing processes. It's about empowering the people who drive the change. Leadership in change management is not just about assigning roles or making decisions. It's about fostering collaboration, adaptability, and genuine engagement. Start by asking yourself, are you the right leader for this change? And do you have the right leaders in place to guide the transformation effectively? Change leadership isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Different phases and challenges require different leadership qualities. It's not enough to simply name leaders in roles. They must possess the vision, influence, and skills to inspire action and align others with the change objectives. Key questions to reflect on include: what leadership styles are at your disposal? Which styles are most effective for this context? And are you truly applying them in practice, or defaulting to what feels familiar? True leadership is about creating an environment where growth and collaboration flourish. How can you build a learning team, one that embraces experimentation and adapts to challenges? And how will you cultivate a coalition of leaders who not only champion change, but also model the behaviors and mindsets needed to make it stick? Learning is at the heart of being an effective change enabler. To lead change successfully, you must embrace learning, not just for others, but for yourself. It means stepping off the sidelines, engaging fully with the change, and critically examining your role in the process. Ask yourself, how do you perceive the change around you? Are your actions and behaviors helping to move things forward, or are they creating unintended resistance? Being a change enabler requires deep self-awareness, recognizing your own behavioral patterns and reflecting on how they impact others. But learning isn't just about introspection. It's about creating a culture of shared growth. The more self-aware you are, the better you can connect with others, understand their perspectives, and guide them through uncertainty. Are you fostering an environment where both you and those around you can learn from each experience? Most importantly, are you a reflective practitioner, someone who actively engages in dialogue to consider not just the thinking and actions of others, but also your own? Learning as a change enabler is a continuous process of growth, reflection, and adaptation, laying the foundation for authentic and lasting change. Now let's dive into the fields of change. These are the key areas where you'll focus your efforts as a change leader. The model outlines 6 distinct fields, each addressing a specific set of challenges and opportunities. For each field, there are change topics that guide your actions. Think of these as practical focal points that help define and refine your change approach. How well do these fields align with your current initiatives? Are there areas where you could strengthen your change focus? Every successful transformation begins by thoroughly understanding the core issues driving the need for change. This change field requires you to pause and think about organizational change, what it means in your specific context. These factors might include changes in the market, new technologies, or cultural trends. Are you thinking about the organizational change and its drivers? Are you responding to external pressures, or is this a proactive move toward innovation? To avoid common pitfalls, you must address change fail factors, such as unclear objectives, poor leadership alignment, or a lack of communication. Reflect on past efforts. What went wrong, and why? With a well-defined view in place, we will embark on a thorough examination of change issues through an in-depth change diagnosis. What is the change issue? What's the problem? What are its root causes? Without a clear diagnosis, it's impossible to chart the right path forward. With a well-defined issue, the next step is to craft a solution that bridges the gap between your current reality and your desired future state. This requires you to value the forces driving change, both internal and external. These forces might include driving and restraining forces. Did you conduct an actual force field analysis, not just a superficial one? Simultaneously, you must assess change readiness by evaluating your organization's and individuals' capacity for change. Did you assess the change readiness of the organization and the involved people? Are the resources, skills, and mindsets in place? If not, how can you build them? Finally, focus on closing the change gap. Identify the steps needed to transition effectively and create a roadmap that links today's challenges with tomorrow's solutions. Do you know how to bridge the change gap? Ensure your change method aligns with your organization's current approach or clearly differs. Does your change methodology align? Does your methodology complement existing frameworks, or do adjustments need to be made? Equally important is engaging with change sponsors, who are critical for ensuring organizational support and momentum. Sponsors are your champions. How well are they aligned with your vision? Once a solution is defined, it's time to shape your change strategy. Each tone has its place, and choosing the right one can make or break the success of your initiative. Have you picked your change tone? Will your change approach be innovative, collaborative, directive, or even coercive? Behavior and culture are at the heart of any lasting transformation. To truly make change stick, you must focus on dealing with behavioral and cultural change. What are the current behaviors that need to shift? And how do they tie into your organizational culture? Equally important is accommodating your own communication styles. Did you reflect upon your own communication styles? Resistance to change is a natural and often expected reaction in any change process. It can manifest in various forms, from overt objections to subtle passive non-compliance. Embrace the fact that resistance to change is perfectly normal. After all, the goal is to make your change stick as well. Analyzing and understanding the sources of resistance is a critical step in managing change effectively. Are you aware of those sources of resistance? Engaging the people directly impacted by the change is non-negotiable. First, you must choose a change communication strategy that effectively conveys the message, using the right channels and methods to inspire action and build trust. Different people process information in different ways, so it's essential to tailor your communication to resonate with diverse audiences. Do you have a change communication strategy? Next, focus on using change group interventions like workshops or team sessions, which create opportunities for collaboration and shared understanding. Did you think about which group interventions? Do group interventions make sense and have backing, or do you like that one kind of intervention? Finally, your efforts will be supported by choosing specific change communication interventions, such as storytelling or interactive experiences, that bring the change to life and make it tangible for your audience. Did you define effective change communication interventions? Ultimately, change happens one person at a time. In this field, your focus shifts to guiding individual change by offering tailored support, such as coaching or mentoring. The goal is to ensure that each person feels equipped to adapt. Along the way, strive to inspire action, not despair. Change can be overwhelming, But by framing it as an opportunity rather than a threat and celebrating small wins, you can build positive momentum. Lastly, you'll need to overcome resistance at the individual level. Resistance often arises from fear or misunderstanding. By being transparent, involving people in the process, and addressing their concerns, you can transform resistance into commitment. So, did you inspire action, guided individual change, and helped to overcome change resistance? Each of these fields of change offers a unique lens for tackling transformation, with change topics serving as practical tools along the way. By integrating these elements into your strategy, you can create a more holistic, effective approach to managing change. How well do these fields align with your current initiatives? Are there areas where you could strengthen your change focus? Measuring the success of your change is critical. Are we making the right changes effectively? How do we assess whether the intervention aligns with the desired outcomes? Consider these questions. How do we measure change effectuality? Are we addressing the right problems with the right solutions? How do we ensure continuous alignment with our diagnosis and the activation of the change process? Do notice that having a measurable change issue analysis is key. See the first field of change. Though we suggested in the previous wording a sequence, our model is not a rigid linear process. Instead, it follows the shape of a lemniscate, symbolizing the fluid, continuous nature of change. While defining the change issue is a good place to start, real-life change doesn't always follow that neat path. The key is to continuously cycle through perspectives, mindsets, fields of change, leadership and topics, adapting necessary. How does this dynamic approach resonate with your experiences in leading change? Did you know the twister game? It prescribes randomly with a spinner where to set your feet and hands, bringing all participants in awkward positions. That's too often how organizational change is executed, with an accidental success or failure. Transitioning change models with a fixed approach can seem predictable, but the change lemniscate introduces a dynamic and engaging way of thinking about change management. You as a change leader or change enabler are in control of your own dance of change. Sometimes you take the lead, sometimes you follow, but always seeking balance where to set your feet in the lemniscate. Create your own dance of change. So, how do you adapt when the rhythm of change shifts unexpectedly? How comfortable are you with the uncertainty of change? And how can you remain agile to keep the transformation on track? Are you sticking to rigid change models, or are you creating your own dance of change? In this video, we deep dived into the change lemniscate model, your adaptable guide to mastering transformative change, covering perspectives, mindsets, leadership, and more. It's a comprehensive framework for change management. And this is just the beginning. With 25 components and over 200 deep dive items, there's so much more to explore. Find the 60 reflective questions from this video below and discuss them with your team for actionable insights. Print this and have a change dialogue. Give together meaning to the model or watch our other video productions. Subscribe now to unlock new videos, tools and strategies to transform yourself into a change leader and enabler. The change lemniscate awaits. Start your journey today. Thank you for watching.